Hello, my name is Jonathan Dixon, Vice President of International Corporate Services at OTC Markets Group. Today, I'm joined by Sebastian Steffen, Senior Vice President and Head of Investor Relations at Adidas. Adidas have been trading on the OTCQX Best Market since 2007 under the tickers ADDYY and ADDDF. Adidas recently also won Best in Class in the Consumer Discretionary category of the European IR Magazine Awards. Congratulations and thank you for joining us, Sebastian.
Hi, Jonathan, and thanks very much. We're indeed very proud to once again, I can say, having been awarded the Best IR in the consumer discretionary space. We've actually won it in 3 out of the last 4 years, and I always tell my team that it is definitely tough to get to the top, but it's even tougher to stay there. So, you know, this consistent awards is definitely something that the team and I are extremely proud of. Thanks very much.
Absolutely. Congratulations again. Sebastian, could you talk about Adidas' rich history, the aspirations of founder Herr Dassler, and the company's growth to some 60,000 employees worldwide now?
Sure. So you're right. We have a very rich history, and a history that we're all here at Adidas are very proud of. Our history goes back more than 70 years to this little town where I'm currently sitting in Herzogenaurach in the middle of Franconia in Germany, where our founder more than 70 years ago joined this company. And actually last year we celebrated the 70 years birthday with a big celebration here on our expanded campus. And we had members of the Dassler family on the ground celebrating with us, which was definitely a moment that gave me and a lot of my colleagues goosebumps. We had many of the athletes and celebrities joining that had shaped the history of our company over the past decades. Adidas has always been and is rooted in sport and has been part of major sporting events over the past number of decades. Just go back to the 1954 World Cup in Switzerland, where the German team won in Adidas legendary football boots, or go back to the 80s where Run DMC wrote the My Adidas song. So we're clearly rooted in sport, but also part of sport lifestyle.
Thank you very much. Hopefully one day we'll talk about England winning a World Cup again. You never know.
Let's see. I'm not betting on that one.
No. As a global leader in the sporting goods industry, how has Adidas refocused its e-commerce business to support consumers in the wake of the global pandemic?
Yeah, e-comm has been a key priority for us since the introduction of our strategy. And I think that's very important because we have invested a lot over the last couple of years already into our infrastructure, into our app landscape, into our logistics. And yes, indeed, as a result of the challenges that we have all been faced with over the last couple of months, with the lockdown that we've experienced in almost all countries around the world, our e-comm revenues accelerated significantly, almost doubling in the second quarter. And only because we had invested a lot in the prior years, we've been able to cope with this additional demand. And of course, now as more than 90% of our stores are open, the growth in e-comm has come down somewhat. But still, we believe that the percentage of our business that will be done through e-comm will be even more significant in the years to come than we would have expected anyway. So we will continue to invest into e-comm, and make no mistake, e-comm is great because it is a very profitable channel for us. But even more importantly, it allows us to build a direct relationship with the consumer, to learn more about the consumer, to develop a targeted offering for our consumer, which ultimately is better for the consumer, but also for us as a company.
What have been the greatest takeaways related to global consumer sentiment this far this year? And in what areas do you see strategic growth opportunities going forward?
Well, it would have definitely been a different answer going into 2020, because going into 2020, we were all excited because it was supposed to be a year of two major sporting events where, the three stripes could have shined like they did over the past couple of decades. We were preparing for the European Football Championship, which should have taken place in June and July, directly followed by the Olympics in Tokyo. And we all know that this didn't happen. So at the end of the day, consumer sentiment immediately after the lockdown was somewhat weak. But what we definitely saw is that consumers still were interested in sports. Consumers continue to be active. And that's why we saw that significant increase in demand. First of all, for product that people could actually use to work out at home. And then as soon as they were allowed to go out, we could see that there was a much higher percentage of people actively exercising, going for a run. And that's something that we're going to benefit from in the long term, because there's some of the structural growth drivers that had been supporting our industry and will continue to support our industry that have even been accelerated as a result of COVID-19. People want to live a healthier life. So the whole idea of betterment and participating more in sports is definitely something we're seeing. And then don't forget about, more and more people working from home, which is accelerating and amplifying the overall athleisure trend of people wearing less nice suits like you are, and more wearing casual wear when they're sitting at home. So these are two strong trends that we see being amplified as a result of Corona.
Absolutely, certainly a couple of really strong trends there. How relevant is sustainability for the consumer today, and what is Adidas' strategy to cater for consumer needs going forward?
Yeah, very good question. Sustainability is definitely something that is very important to us, and it has been important for us for the past decades. We're very proud that for the past 20 years, we've been part of the Dow Jones Sustainability Index, and in many of those years, actually leader in our industry. So this is something that is very important to the company. And we've clearly seen that over the last couple of years, it has also become more and more important for our consumers. And we are a consumer-obsessed company. We want to innovate in a way that it makes a difference for the consumer. Of course, we want to develop football shoes that help a football player to be more precise. We want to develop a running shoe that is lighter to enable a runner to succeed. But ultimately, we know that also the material and the way that we're producing the product is relevant for the consumer. And that's why in 2015, we already introduced a pilot, a single shoe that was completely made out of ocean waste plastic. And I can still remember the moment when I was holding that shoe. I would have never imagined that somebody could exercise in a shoe like that. Now we are 5 years later, and we will have almost 20 million pairs of shoes made out of ocean waste plastic. Something that is a major achievement and something that we are incredibly proud of. But we're definitely not stopping there. Already this year, more than half of the polyester that we're using in our products is recycled polyester. And we aim at increasing that percentage to 100% by 2024. We've introduced the first fully recyclable shoe last year, and we will introduce more of those products next year. And then lastly, we've also started to work on biodegradable products. And together with our partner, Stella McCartney, have already introduced the first product in this regard last year. So sustainability is something that is very core to and close to our heart at Adidas, and it is getting increasingly important for our consumers as well.
That's really impressive and very commendable. So well done on that. Sebastian, lastly, as one of Germany's leading brands, how does trading on the OTCQX market complement your overall IR strategy and better position the company among US and North American investors?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And but let me correct you at the beginning. We're not only one of but actually been elected as Germany's most favorable brand once again a couple of weeks ago, something that we're also very proud of. But you're right. I mean, we're a German company, but the US is extremely important for us. It is part of our strategy. The US market represents the biggest market in our industry. Around about 40% of the global sporting goods market are in the US. So winning in the US is extremely important for us. And we did win in the US over the last couple of years. We've more than doubled our business in 3 years since the introduction of our strategy. So we've been very successful business-wise, but there's still ample of room for us to grow in that all-important market. And just like it is important for us when it comes to the business, the US is also very important for us when it comes to our investor base. Almost 35% of our shareholders sit in the US. So this is definitely something that is very important for our IR work and the way that we're interacting with the financial community. And this is something where OTCQX is definitely facilitating our outreach to US investors, as it allows investors in a very easy and simple way to invest into the Adidas equity story. So we're very happy with our share register, and OTCQX has definitely played an important role in that. So thanks very much to the entire team for helping us.
That's really good to hear, and you're welcome. Well, Sebastian, thank you very much for joining us today. We wish yourself and Adidas all the success in the future.
Thanks very much, Jonathan. I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to catch up with you in person sometime soon.
That would be great. Thank you again.
Take care. Bye-bye.